Murillo tells Nottingham Forest he will stay for another year. Suso bid rejected and a new contract for a player. Plenty to talk about on your latest Forest news from the Red Sea. Ladies and gents, let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night. I hope you guys are doing well. And welcome back to hopefully a better video today with the equipment all in check. What the hell does that say? Device overheating. I'm not surprised, it's 45 degrees. Welcome to the Radimus and welcome to the video. And we're gonna jump straight into it in just a second. But before I do, I gotta mention, of course, the sponsors of the videos, CCL. Make sure you go check them out for all your PC needs. The link's in the description. You can scan the QR code down here somewhere. Make sure to use code FFTV25 for £25 off £300 spent. All right, guys, I gotta get inside because it's so hot. So hit the like and subscribe while I'm doing that. And through we go. I set the alarm off, of course. And into the lobby we go. And I want to talk about Murillo because Murillo, I gotta say, this interview he's just done with John Percy has annoyed me more than his original interview, where he was talking to the Brazilian media, where he was talking about how he wants to go to Man City and all that stuff. This one for me, it's a club PR stunt. That's all I can say about it for me. They know that the fans reacted badly to what he said in his first interview. Therefore, rather than just letting, sleeping dogs lie, they've set this one up with John Percy, in my opinion. I'm out in Egypt. I ain't got a clue if they have or haven't. Why? Because I felt that they thought they needed to react off the back of what he said. And as far as I'm concerned, I was starting to forget about it. I was starting to see his performances on the pitch, and I was thinking would be the catalyst that gets rid of the thoughts of those from me and that he can continue. And in all honesty, what he said didn't really fill me or tell me anything we didn't already know. He talked about how he feels staying at Forest will guarantee him more game time. Well, do I want a player who's coming in thinking that, he didn't say guaranteed, I'm paraphrasing by the way, but he needs that first team game time and he thinks he's more likely, that's probably the better way of saying it, to get it at Forest than elsewhere. He says that the Champions League music moves him in such a way that excites him, that, this, that and the other, and I'm not liking it, guys. I'm not liking it from him. I'd rather he just shuts up and continues with the football. Look, I got no problem with him having the aspirations to play for Man City, Barca, Real, his national team, all that good stuff. Oh my God, it's so hot. But he's got to concentrate on Forest and have these conversations quietly in-house. So, Murillo, I love you. You're still my second favorite player. But I'm telling you, man, just concentrate on the football. We know at some stage you're going to leave, but you don't have to keep reminding everyone. And the problem I've got with this now is that he's basically semi-committed his future to Forest now for this season. What happens in the 11th hour? If, let's say, Man City, the ones he wants so badly, come in on the 31st of August and say, Murillo, we'd quite like you. Is he going to then reject that offer based on what he's just said now? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, guys, let's talk about Sosa and the deal that is apparently extremely close to being done. And it's now coming out that it's actually not that close. Why? Because his club, Teles, I don't think it's probably pronounced like that. That sounds more French. But however you pronounce them, Talavega's Knights, as I call them, they want more towards the £20 million mark, which is about 18 million. 20 million euros, 18 million pounds. Forest apparently have put in a bid of about 12 plus 2 in add-ons, and this has been rejected because they feel that they're in no rush to having to sell him. They've got enough left on his contract, and with that in mind, they're like, okay, if we don't get this done within the next 5 or 6 days, we'll just keep him. So Forest are under a little pressure to get this done. The Argentinian club have got the power in their hands, and that potentially is going to force Forest to make a decision. Now, I still don't get the rationale behind this one. Clearly, the player wants to come to Forest. Clearly, he's interested in us, and clearly, Nuno and the rest of the Forest gang very much like what they see with him. But I still don't understand where he fits into the system. Predominantly, he's a left winger, where I think Callum Hudson-Odoi is untouchable for me. He's in a handful of 2 or 3 players who cannot be dropped and should not be dropped in normal competitive match for any scenarios whatsoever. So does he fit in there? For me, it's a no. Does he fit on the right? He can play on the right, so potentially that is an option. So are Forest willing to put down a crap load of cash really for someone who technically would be a reserve player? Or is there something else in mind that we don't know about? Is it likely that a Callum Hudson-Odoi, that a Murillo, that a Morgan Gibbs-White may be being sold and Forest have to replace and look for better? Don't know, we're going to have to wait and see on this one. What we do know though is this deal will be done or not done within the next 5 days. So if it doesn't happen in the next few days, we know it's over. But we'll keep you posted on it as always. Let's move on to the next story. All right, let's move on and talk about the next bits of news. And before I do, you guys need to like and subscribe because I am in the main restaurant here. All you can eat. And this is like a personal challenge to me, man. All you can eat means all I can eat. But I'm taking time to do this video, so make sure you at least give it a like and make sure you're subscribed. Okay, by the way, the food here is pretty damn tasty. What's not so tasty for me though is this new contract for Ryan Yates. He's been given a 4-year deal with his contract set to expire this coming summer. Now, I'm not against it, don't get me wrong. He's a homegrown player. We don't want him leaving on a Bosman, but what we don't want is people suddenly think he's a first team player, or at least in my opinion. So what I think is going to happen here is we're probably going to see Ryan Yates turning into the Joe Worrell scenario, where Joe Worrell's contract was about to run out and then he ends up being extended and then pretty much put in the shop window to see if he can be sold on. Now the likes of Sheffield United were meant to pick up Joe, but his wage demands are too high for a championship club, even though his footballing, you would argue, is probably on a championship level. So we don't know for sure what's happening to Joe Worrell. But back to Ryan Yates, it's a 4-year deal that will keep him at the club for a good few years more. But I fully do not expect Ryan Yates to start in the Bournemouth match. And if he does, I'm going to be very worried about what's happened to our recruitment. All right, bear with me, I'm going outside. Oh my God, that heat, man, that heat. Oh God, sorry, where was I? Ryan Yates. So a 4-year contract for Ryan Yates. Now the one we talked to you guys about yesterday in terms of Nico Williams, where Forest had rejected a couple of bids for him, has taken a bit of an interesting twist, seeing that Nico Williams has now apparently changed agent. Now changing agent is usually a sign that a player is thinking about leaving. We saw this with Brennan Johnson last year when he changed agent. Let me get away from this music before I get demonetized. I've already started sweating. I'm literally going up a hill, man. Whew. Oh, I swear if you haven't liked this video. Anyway, we saw it with Brennan Johnson, where he got a new agent, and then obviously he ended up going to Spurs. And we've also seen it with Murillo, who we've spoken about earlier. He's had a new agent, and we've heard plenty of noises this summer about his intentions. So what's going on with Nico Williams? This one's still puzzling me. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that wants to leave Forest. But if money talks, maybe his head has been turned by the likes of what? Dortmund interested in him. I think AC Milan are meant to be interested in him. Good luck to the kid. I don't think he's that great. I think he's good. I think he's the most improved player under Nuno. But I still think Eric De Silva's ceiling will be much, much higher than Nico Williams. So if we get decent money for him, so be it, is what I say. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And let's move on to the other story, because don't forget, we've got the watch along tonight. Well, at least I hope so, as long as I can get everything set up. But hey, let me know if this video quality is better than the one from yesterday, because I kind of messed it up yesterday, my bad. But yeah, tonight, look, I don't know if we'll see Anderson, but the word on the street is that the injury from the scummy Millwall player, can't remember his name, isn't as serious as first thought, and Anderson should be making a full recovery, which is great news. However, I want to see Taiwo tonight. We need to. I'm getting seriously worried about the lack of strikers we currently have at Forest, and most of the workload falling onto Chris Wood right now. We know Taiwo's gone out to Spain, but we haven't seen him on the pitch. And we definitely now need to see him, because we need to know what he's got. Is he going to break down in terms of, you know, injuries again? Is he going to be able to put a sustained campaign together this year? Or are we going to have to go out into the market and start buying some players? That is the question. So for me, Taiwo is a must. We must see him in the game tonight to see if he's available, unless of course there's yet another injury. So we'll find out on that tonight. But yeah, we'll do the watch along for you from about 10 to 7. Wish us luck, but it is absolutely lovely out here. Just too hot. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And we'll see you on the watch along later. Wish you were here. Come on, you Reds.